Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about semantic search and summarization and why they are so important in today's world of big data. With the sheer amount of information available to us, it's becoming difficult to find the exact piece of information. And this is where techniques like semantic search and summarization comes in. By understanding the meaning behind the queries, by understanding the context, we can quickly and easily find the information that we need from the large set of document or large scale of documents. To help accomplish this task, today we are going to use large language model GPT-3 and also one of the services that has been built on top of that called GPT-Index. I will talk about GPT-Index in bit. As we all know that GPT-3 is one of the most capable large language model available to us. GPT-3 has created this revolution in the last few months that we have seen in the AI community, and after that we saw GPT 3.5 and GPT-4. GPT-3 was extremely crucial, on building on top of that we saw many other large language models coming in. Okay, and then in this application we'll also use something called GPT Index. Now GPT Index is nothing but it's a kind of a library that provides a central interface to connect large language model to the external data. Now we have custom data or some data that we have with us. How can we ingest those data, and how we can use these LLM models to connect with the data that I have, right? So for that we need GPT Index here to perform this semantic search or graph based algorithms or summarization or question and answer retrieval or any kind of task. That's where we are going to use GPT Index. To connect all these technologies and techniques, we are going to use a web framework called Streamlit, and I hope we all aware of Streamlit. So it's a very simple web framework that provides very high level functions and methods to build web applications where you can integrate all of your models with ease, and it also provides a minimalistic and simple UI as well. So let's dive in. So if you see currently I am on this documentation which says welcome to Llama Index. So Llama Index is it's a new name. It's also known as GPT Index, which is very famous for that. It says, as we discussed, provides an interface to connect your LLM with external data. If you come down, you will see they have all this documentation, guides, and etc. that we are not focusing on that from documentation right now. If you see the context, it says LLMs are a phenomenal piece of technology that we all know for knowledge generation and reasoning. They are pre-trained on large amount of publicly available data. Now, how do we best augment LLM with our own private data? Now, if I have some data which OpenAI hasn't trained their large language model, because they will not have the access to my data that I have. I can have my academic records, I can have some set of data, some historical data that I have at my workplace. You can have your client's data, for example. How will you use this private data? How can you integrate this private data with large language models, not only with OpenAI GPT-3 based model or any other large language models as well? That's where this kind of features comes in, that is given by GPT Index here, that you can see it says data in data ingestion, data indexing, and whatnot. They have multiple solutions that you can see. They have a full stack web app with Llama Index. So they have very good documentation as well. You can go and you can have a look at their documentation. So what I will do, I will head back to VS Code. You can see this is my VS Code. I have created a folder called semantic search Streamlit, and in that I have created a virtual environment. In that virtual environment I have installed all these requirements. There are only 4 requirements. Okay, this will of course install other dependencies as well. So we need Streamlit because we are going to use Streamlit to build the web UI, where we'll have this interface where this model will be working together on a PDF file. And then we have Llama Index, also known as GPT Index, that we discussed. And then we need PyPDF2. So PyPDF2 is a dependency required by Llama or GPT Index to handle the PDF files, because we are going to upload a PDF file, and on top of that PDF file we are going to ask some queries, and we'll see if these techniques are able to generate those responses or not from that PDF. And then we have .env where we'll be handling our OpenAI API keys. Let's head back to app.py. So as I said, we need to have a Streamlit application. So I'll just import Streamlit as st, and I'll just first work with the Streamlit code, and then I will go back to the functions for GPT index, and we'll see what kind of functions that we need. So let's first set the page config. So there is a function or method in Streamlit that helps you handle the page layout. So we have a page layout. If you want a full width, if you want a container, you can handle that with set_page config. So I'm just going to do that, set_page config, and inside that I will pass a parameter that's called layout equal to wide. So I need a wide layout. That's what I'm going to do here, set.page config. Now let's also have a title for this app. I'm going to call st.title, and let's call it semantic search and summarization app. Let's call it application. This is not applications, application. This is my title, and just to give you some information, set_page config should be the first line of your Streamlit code if you are using this method as well, to build the application. So now what I'm going to do now, okay, I'm going to have some let me just charge in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a file uploader where we'll upload our PDF file. So we'll create this semantic search feature for that PDF. Okay, so now for that, what we can do, let's call it uploaded PDF or something. So uploaded PDF, and in this uploaded PDF, I'm going to use file uploader method of Streamlit. So st.file uploader, and in file uploader, what I'm going to do, I'll say, okay, let's label it. So int or upload your PDF file, upload your PDF, and then let's call type also, which is a list. So in type you can pass multiple extensions. I'm just going to pass PDF here. So when I said as a list, let's keep it a list. If you want to also work with docs, you can also work with docs as well. So I'm just going to work with the PDF here. So type equals PDF, and now I'll do if uploaded PDF is not none, if they upload the file, if uploaded PDF is not none, what I want to do, I want to divide the page into 3 columns. Okay, I'll use 3 different columns. Okay, so that's how you can also use Streamlit.columns to divide this. So column 1, column 2, column 3, and in this column 1, column 2, I'll use st.columns. So st.columns, and you can also again you can handle the width. Like if you want to, now we have 3 columns. If I want to give more weightage to the column 1, that column 1 should be bigger in the width, so you can also handle that. So I'm just going to divide into 2:1:1 ratio for all these columns. Column 1, 2, 3. This looks good. Now, so with column 1, so whatever I am going to do in the first column, we have to start like this with column 1, and in with column 1, I'll have an input file. So let's first see. So what I'll do with column 1, let's just do a pass here by now. Okay, let's do a pass. Let's first run this application. So how do we run a Streamlit application, guys? So you can see I'm in this virtual environment on this folder where I have installed all these dependencies and libraries. So this is how you run a Streamlit app. You say Streamlit run app.py, which is your file name. So I'll do Streamlit run app.py. I'll hit enter. What it will do, it will open up, you can see it's opened the app in a browser. It says semantic search and summarization application. We have a very good file uploader. It says limit 200 MB per file, a PDF file that you have to upload. And what we will do, we'll have we want to show the PDF, so we need a PDF viewer. Okay, so because these all PDFs are, I'm assuming that you upload PDF from public domain, or which is available on internet. For at least for this video, I'm not using any confidential data, so I would like to have a PDF viewer, and this is also a Streamlit feature. Now what I have already done, I have functions that are available on Streamlit community in the Streamlit discussion forum. I have used these functions a lot in my previous videos as well, and at my workplace. So how can you save a uploaded file and how can you display that PDF? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these functions. So if you see the first function, I will explain this. So let me first copy this function, and I will give this gist link. It is GitHub gist. I will give the link in the description as well. So if you come back here, what you have to do in the VS Code, before this, I'm just going to use this. So let me import OS for that, by the way. So we need import OS. I don't know, we also need import, of course, base64 and other for this other function as well, but it's okay. So import OS for now. If you see the first function which says function to save a file, so what we have to do, guys, we have to save this file that we are uploading to a local directory, and the directory is something called data. In that data folder, we are going to pass that as well to the GPT index as well. That will load the data from there. I will show you what I'm talking about in bit. For now, what we are doing, we have this data folder where we are storing this uploaded file, that we are uploading it from our local machine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so let's do one thing. So in this, you see the function name is save underscore uploaded file. We have uploaded file as a parameter. Then we using OS library to save this in this data file. We are taking the file name, by the way, uploaded file.name, and then we are getting the using the get buffer method. Okay, and then we are saving the file here. Okay, ht.success. It will also show you in the UI. Okay, now with column 1 pass, I will remove the pass here. So in column 1, what we are going to do, guys, we are going to, let's define a variable called input file. That is going to be our input file, and in this input file, now I will use that function. So save underscore uploaded file, and here I am going to pass the uploaded PDF. You see this variable where we are storing this file, storing this PDF when you are uploading it from ht.file uploader. So input file equals to save underscore uploaded file, and here it goes uploaded file, uploaded PDF, input file. Now we have storing this in this input file. Now let's create a variable so we can also use it later on. So PDF file, and I'm going to pass this path. So the path is, if you see, it's in a data folder, and in this data folder what we have is uploaded file, uploaded PDF.name. If you see here, we were having uploaded file.name. So now our uploaded file is nothing but the uploaded PDF. Now, so I'm just going to use the uploaded PDF dot the name. That's it. And now this file is now assigned to this variable. So now we can use this variable wherever we want in this entire code base. Okay. So now PDF file. Now just hit enter, and let's view this PDF. So I'm just going to do PDF view. Okay. How can we use this PDF view now, guys? Okay, so for that we also need a function that we can show these PDF files on a Streamlit UI. Okay, which is very interesting, by the way. If you want to use this function, please use it for your other task as well, where you have a requirement to show the PDF file. So what I will do, I will go back to my gist. You see, I have a function called define display PDF that I have taken from the discussion forum of Streamlit community. Whoever has created this function, kudos to them, credits to them, by the way. What I will do, I'll use this function define display PDF file function to display the PDF of a given file. We are opening the file again, the file operations basic Python file, and we are base64 encodings have been done here, you see, and now we are using iframes, to show us on the web Streamlit web UI. Okay, so iframe, we are passing this, and now using markdown, which is supported by Streamlit PDF display, and you have to do this unsafe allow HTML equals to true. You have, if this is false, you will not view the PDF there. Okay, so ht.markdown PDF display. Now we'll use this display PDF function to show this PDF file that has been uploaded by the end user, which is me in this case. So PDF view, I'll use this function called display PDF, and in the display PDF I'll pass this variable now, which is to our file. So display PDF, and this will go PDF underscore file. So PDF underscore file, and that's it. So now let's see if we are getting any changes here. So you have to do rerun. Once you do the rerun, now what we have to do, what we can also do, let's upload a PDF file. So in this data, I will upload this PDF file. It says name base64 is not defined. Cool. So what we have to do, we have to import base64. Import base64, and I think, okay, let's see. This should do import base64. I'll do a rerun. So you can see now we have this save PDF, and you can see a beautiful PDF viewer, okay, on the Streamlit application itself, guys. It's very interesting. Okay, and Streamlit is becoming so powerful now. We also have, you might have seen that there's a recent development in the web framework. There's something called PyScript has been officially released. Okay, you might have seen some videos on internet as well. But Streamlit is also becoming stronger day by day. The community is becoming very strong. So you can see we have this PDF viewer, and we're also getting a status message which says saved file PDF to directory, and you can see your PDF. So this PDF is about Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG, by the United Nations, and we are going to use this PDF to interact with this. We'll have some queries. You want to retrieve some information from this PDF file, with help of generative AI. That's where we are going to use GPT-3, and we'll use GPT-Index to do this indexing. We have embeddings. What it does, you'll see what I'm talking about in the terminal. Okay, we have word embeddings. It kind of creates the embeddings for the tokens, and then it kind of creates a JSON file, that you can also use it, JSON file, and then you can ask your queries and it will retrieve the information. Okay, so you see this is a PDF file. So our first function is complete, or the first column, sorry. We have a couple of functions here for the file operations and showing the PDF on the Streamlit UI, but our first column is done, completed. So we have two other columns where we are going to use GPT index. Now how can we perform this semantic search and summarization? For that, let's import the library. So what we have to do, let's first do from Llama Index, so which is from Llama Index, import GPT. The first thing is simple vector. So vector index, we need vector index. We also need directory to load the data from directory. So simple directory reader, this is right. And then for summarization, we need list index, because I'll show you that's a little different than the vector index. So GPT list index, that's it. We need these three modules or classes from Llama Index: GPT simple vector index, simple directory reader, and GPT list index. Okay, and now we also need something called from .env. We need to load .env to handle the OpenAI API. So from .env we need import load .env. This is what we need, and the first line goes like this. Now load underscore .env, which is a method. Let's also define the environmental key. So OS environment path. Okay, this path is nothing but the .env, the way you have stored it. So os.environment, okay, OpenAI, and this go underscore API, and now it goes key, and now this will be os.getEnv. So os.getEnv, and this is not there. This should go inside this OpenAI. Same thing, OpenAI API key. This makes sense. So now we are done with OpenAI API key and stuff. So now what we're going to do, guys, in this, now we are going to use GPT index, and in GPT index we need couple of functions. The first is semantic search, and the second is the summarization. So what I'm going to do, let me just define that function. So the function will be, let's call it semantic. So def semantic, and let's call it search, and in that we have to pass the query, right? So let's call it query as a parameter, and def semantic search query. And now what I'm going to do, let's call it a variable as documents, and in this documents we need to load the data. Okay, so how we can do that? So simple directory reader, you can see simple directory reader, and you have to pass the path of your data folder. So in my case it is nothing but called data. You can see this data folder over here, and now we use this method called load underscore data. You see, this is how you load the data when you are using GPT index or Llama index. Okay, so now this is document. Now we're going to do the indexing here. So let's call it index, and what I'm going to do, we're going to use GPT simple vector index. Very high level APIs, guys, simple to use. GPT simple vector index, and now from documents from documents, and we'll pass this documents, which is correct, which is our variable name as well. So we are handling, we are operating on a doc file or a PDF file. So from documents, document index, and now we'll have our response. So response is nothing but index.query, and index.query, and let's pass this query. So we are going to pass this query, which is a parameter which will take the input from the end user on the Streamlit UI. So this is our response, index.query, and now it will say return response. So we have def semantic search query, document, simple directory reader. We are loading the data here, then we are indexing it, and then we are getting the query from the end user, and then we are performing this query method on this index, okay, on this response. You can also save this in a JSON file, guys, if you want to do it, but you can figure it out from the documentation as well, and you can extend this app further. Now the second function that we are going to use is, let's call it summarize. So I'm going to use summarize, and in summarize, what we have to pass, we have to pass the file here, the PDF file. So let's call it file def summarize, and again the same thing. So I'm just going to use the same, let me just copy this. This is how we're going to load the data, documents, and now in index, it will not be vector index, so we need to do the list index. So I'm just going to use list index from documents, and here it will be documents. So this is okay, documents, and now what we are going to do, let's response and index.query. Here you will have a default prompt, and this default prompt goes like this: summarize, summarize the document. Okay, now this is my default prompt, summarize the document, and let's call it response mode as a tree summarize. Okay, they have a compact, they have different parameter here that you can use. So I'm going to use tree underscore summarize, because we are working with a summary task. So tree underscore summarize, and now let's just return this response. Pretty simple, right? So first function is for semantic search, where we are passing a query as a parameter, and then in the second is a summarize, where we are passing the file or the file path that we'll pass. So response index.query, you can see this is a default prompt. You can change the prompt. You can also have this prompt from the end user as well, but I don't want to do that. Tree underscore summarize, this looks nice. Now what I'm going to do, guys, now next is, let's work with the column 2. So with column 2, and in the column 2 we'll have a success message as we have in column 1, that from the function itself. We'll say search area. Okay, this is going to be the search area, so let's call it search area, ht.success search area, and this is a status message. Now we'll have a query underscore search, and here it comes. What we're going to do, we'll have something like text area, okay, that where end user on a Streamlit application can ask their query. So we're going to use this method called text underscore area. They also have something called text underscore input, but that's a single line. This is multi-line, so you can have questions on multi-line as well. So ht.text area, and in this text area, let's have something called search your query, and now query search your query. What we are going to do, we need a checkbox. Let's have a checkbox. You can also have a button inside it, but let's have a checkbox. So I'm going to do if ht.checkbox. Checkbox is a method. I'll just have this option called search. Let's assign a name to this checkbox, and now here it goes. Where we'll use the first function, which is semantic search. That's what we're going to use. So let's call it. Let's first have an info message. Okay, so ht.info, and we call it your query. We print the query, okay, your query, and let's have a space, and that here we'll have the query search. This looks good. Query search ht.info is done. Now we'll use that function. So let's store that in a result. Result. So let's call this result, and result equals, that goes the function name, which is semantic search, and on this query search. So this is going to be, this is going to be the query underscore search. That's it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to uh, let's write this maybe. So let's write this ht.write result. This is column 2. Now what I'm going to do for column 3, where let's use that function as well quickly because it's pretty simple and straight. So ht.success here we are doing. Let's also use ht.success again, guys. So ht.success, I'll say summarization or your summary something like this. ht.success, this ran, let me do a control C by the way. Okay, ht.success, and now here we'll use a summary result, and in summary result we'll pass this function, so summarize, and we'll use the PDF file. As I told you that we are storing that file now in this variable, so we can use this variable wherever we want in this code base. Do not have to load every time the complete path. So summary result, summarize, let's use this PDF file, passing this PDF file. I want GPT-Index to summarize this PDF file with the help of course GPT-3, and we are using DaVinci 3 here. So summarize PDF file, again ht.write, let's write this summary result. That's it. Now let's just write, and then we'll explain the functions once more, the entire code from top to bottom. You can see it's around 70 lines of code. Let's see what kind of applications we have built here, what kind of application you can build using this. Now if you come here, we'll just do a rerun. It says OpenAI, or is the you want to check string expected not none time. Okay, now this is okay. So what we're going to do, just let me see. So the file extension may be the problem here, guys. So just let's see. So you can see os.environment OpenAI. I think that's a file extension. Earlier it was not an correct file extension. There was no dot, no hidden file. So what I'm going to do now, let's come back and see. So localhost 8501 on the port which Streamlit app runs. Now here we'll upload this file. And now you can see we have few things here, guys. The first thing is again the PDF viewer that you already have seen, and then we also have something called two other columns. So see, this column, the first column, is twice the width, right? It's taking more width than these two other columns. Okay, if you come back here and you will see it, what I'm saying. There's again embedding token uses. I was discussing about GPT-Index and all. Now let's ask some questions. The first question that I would like to ask, the information that I want to retrieve from this document is like how many SDGs goals are there according to the UN. Now this is my first question. I will click on this search. When I click on this search, which is a checkbox, so this is a checkbox, and this is my question. I made a typo there as well. Okay, but anyway, your query, you see, this is my query. Your query, how many SDGs goals are there according to the United Nations. You can see it's running on top, and I have got my response. We say there are 17 sustainable development goals according to the United Nations, including gender equality, ending discrimination against women and girls, eliminating violence against women and girls, eliminating harmful practices, and blah blah blah. So there are 17 like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and if you come back here, you will see something called total LLM token uses, right? For all your queries, the number of times you are making these queries, all you can find it over here, all the logs in the terminal. Okay, how many LLM tokens has been used and all those things over here. Okay, now let's come back. Let's ask some other questions here. How many SDGs goals are there according to UN? Maybe I can ask this question. Gender equality. Okay, which SDG goal is related to, and you can see we also got our summarization, guys. So before asking these queries, let me also explain summarization. It looks beautiful in this 3 set of columns. So in the first column we have our PDF file. You can upload any PDF, and you want to retrieve any information, you go ahead, retrieve. You can have a download button as well. you can go and watch my whisper and transcription video. We have a minutes of meeting and a whisper video where I have this option of downloading some files, how you can download this result, this text in a text format or something like that. You can also extend this app further. Please do that, and it's very helpful to reduce the manual efforts. And if you are doing some mundane or tedious tasks, you can also use this kind of application. You can also have a CSV file with list of questions where you can upload and it will generate the answers for you. Please go ahead and extend this app further, and please drop a comment in the comment box if you have done something with this. If you have extended this further, having option to upload CSV files with list of questions, and you automatically get all your answer in the CSV file as well, with questions answer and questions answer. Now you see this summary. It says this document outlines the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs and the actions and indicators that the Food and Agriculture Organization is taking to support the monitoring of these goals. It talks about these goals like 2, 5, 6, 15, and it's talking about why is this important and how this can help the developing countries or the underdeveloped countries. You can read the summary here entirely, right? You can also use some methods. If you come here down, you see the response mode. You can have a compact, you can have tree summarize, you can have different type of response mode. You can read this in GPT-Index documentation. Now if you come back, let's ask some other questions as well, guys. Which SDG goal is related to it's already showing this goal 7 ensure access to, so it's already, you can see it's running to gender equality. So let me just click on this search, and now click on this search. Now this is my query, your query, which SDG goal is related to gender equality. Let's see if it's able to give us the right answer here. Okay, so you can see this it says goal 5. This is goal 5, which is the correct answer, guys. Which SDG goal is related to gender equality? Goal 5, which is gender equality. So these kind of questions you can ask. You can see this is a document that I uploaded. It's a big document, around 70 pages. Now you can upload multiple documents as well. It depends what you want to do with this app, or this kind of techniques or technology like large language models with GPT-Index. What kind of applications you want to build? Some cool applications, you can build it in your personal capacity, or you are doing some freelancing, or you're working at your workplace. You can combine all these things to build a presentable solution to the end user. If you come down, let's talk about zero hunger. Let me first uncheck this. What can you tell me? For example, what can you tell me on zero hunger, for example? Let's see if it's able to give us some response. Now if I click on that search, now this is my query. Now what can you tell me on zero hunger? Okay, so we have our summary there. You can see the PDF file, and this code will be available on the GitHub repository. Okay, I'll share the link of the GitHub repository. You can go, you can just change your API key. You can also add if you want to make it completely private, you can also create an instance on Azure services. Go ahead and create an Azure service, use that Azure API keys, the model endpoints, etc. Just replace this line, it should work fine. If you come here, and you'll see, wow, we got the response, guys, on our query. What can you tell me on zero hunger? So this says zero hunger is one of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, adopted by the United Nations. 193 member states in 2015, including SDGs 2, which is zero hunger, which is SDG 2, by the way. And it's giving you all the responses here. You can also, if you want a bigger response, just increase the parameters. You can have some parameters over here defined, like maximum number of tokens, etc., that you have already seen with on OpenAI Playground as well, if you have tested OpenAI Playgrounds. So I hope you liked the video, guys. I think a good output that we got in last, and I think that's it for today's videos, guys, on building a semantic search and summarization app. I hope you found this tutorial helpful in understanding how this technology can be combined to make searching and summarizing much easier. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe. And feel free to share your suggestions in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.